Tammy with Little Jordan Farm. I just wanted to give you guys an update and first of all, anyway, let you know a little bit about what's going on. We've been out working on our property, doing a bunch more clearing. You want to video some of that stuff, but at the same time, it's hard to video that stuff when you're working with weed eaters and chainsaws and going backwards and forth and dragging brush and all that kind of good stuff. It's just a little bit more of a headache than it would be anything that y'all would profit from, but we've been doing a lot more clearing out there. Ginger's still no babies. She has had more mucus here lately, but still no babies yet. But this is her first christening, so I'm not sure what to expect out of her exactly, so time will tell. Daisy, I guess, ruined me. Daisy was pretty predictable when she first started mucus and all. She wasn't going to be long. She was going to have babies. So Ginger's just throwing me for a little loop here. But I don't think it'll be long because you can barely feel her ligaments. So we'll see. But anyway, to get on with this, yesterday we had 50, our temperature was, the high is 56. Me and Dawn was out there working in long sleeve t-shirts, nothing major, and just going to town. Now we've got, I don't know if we got an inch yet out there, but just this morning in the past couple of hours, we've almost got an inch of snow. We're supposed to get a really bad cold spell. They said that our temperatures the wind chill factor could get 5 below tomorrow night, I think it is. So going into that, and with Ginger about to have her babies too, so I'm wondering how that's all going to go down, but time will tell. But I also wanted to, I think a lot about Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is, you know, you don't hear a whole lot about it anymore like you used to. Even the kids in school don't really do like they used to with making their Valentine boxes and all that fun stuff that kids used to do. But I think Valentine's should be, you know, celebrated. And just from what I have gathered, the stories on Valentine's Day, they're more of legends that people don't necessarily know to be fact from what I've read. This is from what I've read. But from what I've read, there's 2 different things that they think that may have happened back in the day. And I can't remember the dates now, but I know it was back in the Roman Empire. And Claudius II was the emperor. I do know that. And one theory says that Saint Valentine was trying to help the church who was being persecuted and such, and he got put in prison. And when he got put in prison, the emperor's daughter came and I guess gave him his food or whatever, and that she fell in love with Saint Valentine, and that he would write her letters. And the last one he wrote before they killed him, he says, "From your Valentine." And so that's a theory on how it began. And another theory was that this Emperor Claudius II had decided that single men were better soldiers than married men, so he ordered that no marriages to be done, and that Saint Valentine was marrying people underground, so to speak, and he got caught for that, and they killed him from that. So I don't know which it is, but I like Valentine's Day, and I guess too partly because all the springy colors and stuff that come out during this time of year makes me more hungry for spring. And it's like a special thing for me. I like for my grandkids to get into, I really would like for them to be able to make little boxes like they used to, because they don't do that anymore. I know we used to take the tissue boxes and we'd make them out of that, or we'd take the old cigar boxes and make them out of that, decorate them and all that kind of good stuff. And that's fun stuff. You know, it's creative stuff that kids don't get to do like they used to. And sometimes we'd even make some of our Valentines. And I kept some old vintage Valentines for a while there, and I really don't know what happened to them because I've not seen them. But I'd like to get me some old vintage Valentines because even Valentines ain't like they used to be. But with that being all said, if anybody's ever read my bio on my YouTube channel, I have a scripture. I don't have the whole scripture wrote out, but I'll put it on this video. 1 Corinthians 13. It's actually verses 1 through 3, but the whole chapter is actually about love. And but 1 through 13 is a biggie for me. And what the summary of that is, if you have not love, you can have all these different things, but if you have love, you have nothing. And, you know, love is what is grounding this community in YouTube. You know, lots of times I get disappointed because the way my internet system is and everything, I can't get on live streams. I can get on there and maybe stick one thing out there to say, hey guys, how are you? And then my internet, well, it's actually on my phone, starts buffering, and I cannot get past that hardly. Sometimes I can get another message in, but very seldom. So if anybody ever sees me on a live stream and then they don't see me on a live stream, that's why. And lots of times I'm sitting there watching a live stream. I can watch it, but if I start responding, that's when it starts buffering. So, you know, lots of times I'm there, I just ain't there, if that makes any sense. But, so everybody, you know, I don't get to share in on the love of that, but I do love a lot of you guys so much that I've come to get to know a lot better, and even the things that some of you have done to help me and help my channel grow, and your responses, knowing that you're watching the videos, that means a lot, and I'm thankful for that. And through this Valentine's, I say I love you, and I appreciate you. But I think often about folks that I feel like don't get noticed enough. And that's easy to come up with a long list of things that you would like to get people noticed for. And I'm actually going to send this out as a collaboration. And I'll name off the channels that I want to, you know, start with getting this collaboration going here in a moment. But what I want to recognize people that don't necessarily get recognized enough to me. And this might be the same for other people. If it's the same for some people, that's great. If it's not, then add who you want to add. Just do it from your heart. Don't do it from, well, they didn't say this person or that person or this thing or that thing. Do it from your heart, because, you know, there's some things that's more tender to our hearts than other things. And one of those things to me is caregivers, particularly caregivers of parents per se. It don't have to be parents that has had dementia or Alzheimer's. You know, that's close to my heart, and because I have been those caregivers, and I have a deep compassion for those that have to go through that, because I've been there, and I know that it's a painful thing, and it's a hard thing. There's so many different emotions involved in that, you know. There's love. You get angry. You get, you don't quite understand why your parent or whatever is being the way they're being. And, you know, people need to know that sometimes whenever those situations are happening, you feel like sometimes you can get hard-hearted because you don't feel like you respond the way that you should respond. But I think that just goes along with the emotions of what you're dealing with, because you want to fix things and you can't fix things, and you see that you can't fix things. And I just really want to recognize all those caregivers out there, not just for Alzheimer's and dementia, but those are dear to my heart when it comes to that. And even cancer. You know, my husband's mother, she had cancer, and we dealt with that for about 3 years on and off. And the caregiving in that is hard, and it's hard to put into words the emotions that goes on during those times like that. So I want to recognize those people, and I want them to know that they're loved and they're recognized and they're prayed for, because I do pray for people like that a lot. And in that same aspect, and this is the same but different, and I've never really had to deal with this in my life, but I really think about it a lot. And those are people, particularly parents, that may have children that are mentally challenged and such, that they're having to caregive for. You know, there's some parents that are in their 70s and 80s that's still tending to children that, you know, that need their undivided care, you know, and that's a strong person to be able to handle all of that. And I want them to know they're recognized and they're loved and they're prayed for, because it's a tough thing. And one more thing, I wasn't really going to say this one because I was wanting to try to limit it at 2. And I don't mean to rush through part of this, because everything is very important. Each one of these categories is extremely important to me. And but I don't want to make this video too long. But another one is, I think about people who are cold. Like right now in this winter season, you know, there's people out there that are cold. There's people that even maybe have home that are still cold. There's a lot of elderly people that I know. I have experienced this with some. We had a helps ministry for a long time, and there's elderly people out there that are on fixed budgets, that to pay their light bill, they'll keep their heat off, or they have wood stoves, but they have no means of getting wood, and things like that. And there's people out there like that, guys. There's real people out there like that. And I know that for a fact. And I just want them, I don't know that they would ever see any of this, but I like for us to remember these people. And those that are praying people, that they would pray for these people, and even ask, for that matter, that God would give them insight to people like that, that maybe they could help somehow or another. Because that's love. You know, that's love. If you have not love, you have not nothing. And I believe that's extremely important in this world, especially this day and time that we live in. There's such evil and bad things that goes on all the time, that we need to really recognize these things and let that light. With all that being said, I want to do a shout out, as well as ask these people to join in on this collaboration. I have a couple channels that I've come to know of here recently, and that I really like, and that I believe that they are great people from every aspect that I have been able to know them so far. But those two are CJ's Old Thyme Farm. That's Thyme, CJ's Old Thyme Farm. She's actually a lot like me. It's funny, our bios are similar when it comes to our lifestyles. And I think that's cool, because, you know, it just draws you to somebody. But I really like her. Right now she's dealing with a chicken that's kind of been sick, and she thinks she might have it going on the upper end. I hope so. But I'd like for you to check her out. I believe you would really like her. She's a very frugal person, which I love frugal people. And she loves her animals. Animal husbandry is a deep thing for her, and I appreciate that. I think that's great. But I think you guys would really like her. I'd like for you to check her out, and I'd also like to ask her to join in on this collaboration. And along with that, also I want to shout out and ask to join in this collaboration North Star Prepsteaders. And she's, like she says, a Prepsteader. She's also into doing paleo dieting, and she's a single mom. And that's another thing that's dear to my heart, is single moms, because I've been there as well. And that's another Valentines shout out I want to do, is single moms. And like I said before, I ask you to check out these channels, and I ask these channels to do this shout out or this collaboration with me, and be encouraged. Any of you out there that fall in these categories that I have mentioned myself today, be encouraged and know that there's people that think about you, even people that you may not even know, and people that's praying for you as well. Even though it may be a wide range, it's still, God knows. And asking you guys that even if you didn't get the shout out for this collaboration, if you don't through the next couple of weeks, I ask you to still do it, because you know it's showing love, and love is extremely important, and love is what heals people. Love is what builds bonds with people, and love is what can make a difference in somebody's life that you may not ever meet in your life. And even if it's some of the same things that I've mentioned, I ask you to do it anyway, because you know it's about what's on your heart. It's not about what ain't been said. It's about what's on your heart.